Mike J., world's most innovative coach, and I would like to show you how the next 5 minutes will change the way you see the world you live in. If you're reading this, you may already have started to give back your standard of living, or you see the writing on the wall. Now, some of you have already thought about simplifying your lives, giving up excess, and even changing how you live. Good for you. We should all do that, but it won't be enough. Sorry. Unless you want to lose about half the choices you currently have with your health, your well-being, and your money, please read on. Just give me 2 more minutes of your time now, and I'll show you why if you don't take action now, you'll miss the best chance to salvage your own standard of living and get back or preserve choice in the coming decade. But first, what has caused me to get serious about getting all my global passive income streams tuned up and working for me now? Look at this simple graph of a business cycle. We've all seen these before, right? You go up and you go down. Now look at this one and get ready for something nobody is telling you. Notice these waves here? Okay, let me simulate those for you in the next slide. Notice that most of those 50-year long waves look more or less like this simple bell curve, which goes up and then goes down. Sure, it's more complicated than this, but let me make my point. Now let's superimpose that business cycle I showed you onto this 50-year long wave and see what it looks like going up. Notice the curves that are simulated on top of the curve. Now, let's superimpose the business cycle on this 50-year long wave and see what it looks like on the other side, going down. Notice the same type of cycle, only it's going down instead of going up. Now, let's put the two together. Notice the difference in my crude illustration. What's different about these cycles? In the rising wave here, notice that the shorter time is recession and the longer time is expansion, right? But in the downside, notice that the expansion is a short time and the recession is a long time, and it's reversed. This is so profound and so simple, I'm going to repeat it. In the rising wave, the upside has a shorter time of recession and a longer time of expansion, right? But in the downside, it's reversed. The time for expansion now is shorter and the time for recession is longer. Can you see why the stock market is breaking the past high so quickly? And can you see also that the time we'll spend in this recovery is already limited to no more than a few quarters from my hypothesis? What if I told you that the billionaires I've been coaching the past 2 years agree with me, and that the financial institutions I work with all agree, that the likelihood of this happening is so high that they are continuing to deposit money, more money than ever in history, with the Federal Reserve, where it's safe and sound? Look at this chart. It shows you the federal deposits of banking institutions held at the Federal Reserve. Notice the normal level, even through recession, which are the shaded bars. Notice what has happened since 2008. We have continued to deposit more and more, so much so that right now, today, when I'm talking through this video and this presentation, that there is almost $1.2 trillion on deposit at the Fed, earning a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of interest. Why? What the rich know is a lot different than what you are hearing on the local news, isn't it? You don't have the money, time, and connections to do the research, but I do. And that's why I called the last downturn 2 full years before it happened. Am I some extra smart guy who could see the future? No way. Not on your life. While I didn't get caught in the last one because I knew it was coming, as I was able to get in front of it. What is coming next is far worse because it brings with it a much longer period of recession. Now remember my little example, my little simple bell curve? Where do you think we are right now? Well, more or less, this area here was around 2000, and most likely we're about right here. We're going to enjoy a recovery, but it's going to be so short, and what follows is a very long downturn. Are you ready for this? I don't think most people are. Folks, there's a window open now. Remember what Shakespeare wrote in Julius Caesar? There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallow and in miseries. We can all count our lucky stars because through all the current manipulation of politics, currency, and stocks, along with treasury, house prices, and hundreds of other levers and switches and incentives, this window in our economy is still open for business. But by 2012 or perhaps sooner, that window will close and could remain closed for a decade or more in the USA, in Europe. Folks, if you're interested in what is really going to happen next and what you can do about it while this current window of opportunity is open, then enter your information into the form that follows this presentation, and I'll send you the next installment of this series, as well as how to sign up for my new teleseries on saving the middle class in 2010. If you don't act now, you will give up your current standard of living in the next 2 years.